Good morning. We should get started. So let me start by saying welcome to Stony Brook and welcome to the world-famous Bay Scallop Bowl, where would we rather be? So we're delighted to see you this morning. My name is Paul Shepson. I'm Dean of the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences, SoMAS, here at Stony Brook. So first, let me comment that this has been a really big year in the realm of trivia competitions. So we had James Holzhauer on Jeopardy, who won 33 games straight. He had the largest one-game cash winnings of $131,000. And then went on to win the 2019 Tournament of Champions, but then went on to place second in the competition for greatest of all time, second to Ken Jennings. So that was big. It was a big year, but not to trivialize trivia competitions, but this one is really important. Those are big. This is a whole lot bigger than that. There are students here who are going to go on to put people like Ken Jennings to shame. And so you're on the path and everyone is prepared, and I think that's really exciting. SoMAS is delighted to host this, I think, the 19th Bay Scallop Bowl. I should recognize Bill Wise, who's been involved since the very beginning and is contributing again to the quality of this program. So again, SoMAS is delighted to have you here to share in the mystery and majesty of the world's oceans and the whole Earth environment. And we share in your passion in protecting the oceans and the environment. And I think that's a big part of what this is about. So you're visiting a fantastic university, which would be a great place for you to come start your life adventures, your intellectual and career life adventures. If you were to become a SoMAS student, we would work with you and you would work with us in pursuit of protecting the Earth environment. So we're excited about that. I just want to recognize the SoMAS faculty and staff who got up early this morning, and there's a large number of you who really could not think of anything that they'd rather do than be here this morning. So can I ask all the SoMAS faculty and staff to stand and be recognized? It's a It's a pretty impressive group, and thank you. So some of you have come from a long way, like Churchville, Chile, and Holly Community in Rochester. So it's a pretty good drive for you. Some of you, at least the coaches, have been here for many years in a row. Some for the first time. So welcome to Half Hollow Hills High School. It's alliterative. And their new coach, first-timer Danielle Tallur. Is Danielle here? Oh, hi. Some of you are making a long weekend out of it to see the shore and see Long Island, so enjoy. Thanks also to all the coaches who give so much to stand behind and push your students, and who helped you get here literally and figuratively. So before we move on, I want to thank our sponsors. We'll hopefully do that several times. The Consortium for Ocean Leadership, the Alfred and Jane Ross Foundation, New York Sea Grant, where are you, Becky? Ørsted, the offshore wind power company, the Institute for Ocean Conservation Science at Stony Brook, the Safina Center, and a special thank you to Dr. and Mrs. Robert and Dana Swanson. I know Larry is here. For sponsoring Sundays on Saturday. So this is one of the reasons that the faculty came out today. And I will start the process of thanking all of our organizers, first and foremost, Kim Knoll and Caitlin Guglio? Where's Caitlin? Was I close? Guglio? Should I say Caitlin? Anyway. So at this point, before I introduce our dignitaries, I'll just say some encouraging words to the students, a few pearls of wisdom. You're going to need to draw on all of your intellectual muscle to win this, or is it muscles? So keep your cool, don't clam up, don't come unhinged, don't flounder, don't get tongue-tied. Don't get your answers bass-ackward. Rather, think deep. Ride the wave. Don't coast. And if you claw your way to the top, you could be the sole winner, and that would be no fluke. So I'm sorry that was sort of crappy. I should have scaled it back a little. Anyway, if you like that, you and I will get along swimmingly. So, okay, so I should move on to the more official parts of the agenda. We have several distinguished guests this morning. Hi, Valerie. I didn't see that you were here. So first, I'm going to introduce Steve Englebright, who's New York State Assemblyman from District 4, a passionate champion of environmental protection on Long Island, from the Pine Barrens to the Peconic Bay estuary to renewable energy, clean air, and water. Important to all of us and to me and to many people, he's the co-author with Todd Kaminsky of a very important piece of legislation just recently enacted, the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act, that really puts New York State in a leadership position in the United States, in North America, and in the world, in taking real positive steps in combating climate change. So Steve is a veteran here with strong connections to SoMAS, and he's wearing a tie at 8 o'clock in the morning, and so when he wishes, he can be more appropriately clad. So I will turn over the microphone and welcome to Steve.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shepson, and good morning. I wanted to be here just to see the future. I think I'm looking at it right now. And we certainly need your brains to be engaged, not just for the sporting event of today, but I hope that you consider coming to Stony Brook and engaging in the process of learning and then applying that learning going forward. As Paul Shepson indicated, we are finally at the state level beginning to address the climate change issue. On January 17th, Governor Cuomo, and in the presence of former Vice President Al Gore, signed the CLCPA, the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act, and we are looking forward to getting started. We had a budget hearing just this week, and no less than a half dozen of my colleagues and I questioned closely, when are we going to actually start the meetings of the Climate Council, which, by the way, Dr. Shepson has consented to volunteer to be a part of, and thank you for being willing to do so. You were one of our 3 appointments at the Assembly, and most notably as one of the leading scholars on atmospheric sciences in this country, if not beyond our borders. The role you play there is going to, the rest of the table is going to be filled with bureaucrats, with the exception of Robert Howarth from Cornell. But for whatever it's worth, the commissioner reassured us that we're about to start, and as I indicated to you outside, the governor made 2 of his appointments yesterday. So we're underway, just as you're about to get underway, both here in this contest, and I hope in your academic careers. I hope you come to this great university more than just today. Come, learn, and make a difference going forward. I thank you very much for inviting me here today. I will put on my seafoam green shirt to cover this embarrassing tie as we go forward. Have a great day. Thank you.
Next is Kara Hahn, who's Suffolk County Legislator, and the County Legislator's, as of 2020, Deputy Presiding Officer. Kara is a champion of the environment here on Long Island, working hard to do important things like protecting drinking water and groundwater, and we're delighted to have you here this morning, so you're welcome to say a few words.
Thank you so much. As chair of the Legislature's Environment Committee, I'm excited to be here each year. It's been several years in a row. I want to thank SUNY Stony Brook, Paul, Larry, Kim, everyone from SoMAS who are here and make this possible. Thank all the coaches that really help the competitors. But to all of you out there, the sea is calling us for help. And I'm just so thankful every year, so impressed by the depth of knowledge that's shown by the students here that compete. And your willingness to take on environmental science, learn about our oceans, learning about how to help them. In the legislature at our level, we've been very active in the issues of plastic reduction and plastic pollution. And, we need the next generation of thinkers and doers to help move both our nation and this world forward to save the earth, to save our habitat for not just ourselves, but all of the spectacular species we have. And so good luck to you all in this great competition. It's incredibly exciting. Some winner here today will move on, correct? So that's super exciting. So good luck to all. Thank you for studying this most important issue. And you are, as the Assemblyman so eloquently said, future leaders in our fight to save our Earth. So thank you.
Thank you, Kara. So it's a long list of dignitaries, and you know, it sort of speaks to the stature of Bay Scallop Bowl. It's important, and of Stony Brook. So next is Councilwoman Valerie Cartwright, who is Councilwoman for District 1, Town of Brookhaven, fourth term in that role. Okay, so Valerie is also champion of the Long Island environment, working hard in contributing to infrastructure, protecting water quality, shorelines, coastal infrastructure, and our parks. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Valerie, and thanks for being here so early in the morning to all of you.
Thank you. Good morning. Well, this morning I'm a product of leaving my phone at home. Did anybody ever have that happen to them? And I realized how connected I am to my phone. It was unbelievable. But I want to say good morning. Every year I have the opportunity of joining my colleagues to come here to say hello and to say keep doing what you're doing. It's so important that we continue to challenge you, each of you in this room, because you are our future. It's important that we continue to let everyone know how important science is. When you think about it, I can't think of a more critical time where science matters. And it's, I think, imperative that all levels of government, because that's what you have before you, state, county, and town, working together to make sure that we push forward the fact that science matters. And when government or elected officials don't push that perspective, you need people like Assemblyman Englebright, who is still the only scientist in the legislature. Please clap for him. In the legislature, making sure that people are looking at it from the right perspective. On Long Island, we truly understand how important it is to study climate change, how important it is to study the impacts on our human population. But we can't do it alone. We need each of you to continue being cutting edge, continue to push your minds, continue to focus on what is truly important here for not only Long Island, not only for the state, but for the country. So I'm just going to give you a very short challenge. As you move forward in your future and in your careers, keep science at the forefront of everything that you do. It's part of your fabric. And if you don't push forward and keep it as part of everything that you do, then it's going to be detrimental to us as a people. So I'm thanking you for your perspective. I'm thanking you for being here today and challenging each other. Healthy challenges are always great. But I thank you for being part of the Stony Brook University community, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you pushing forward science in our communities. Thank you for being here. Thank you to my colleagues for continuing to work with me, and thank you to Stony Brook University and SoMAS for all that you do for our environment.
Wow, so raise the banner high. Science matters, facts matter, it's important. And the path that you guys are on really matters because we're handing over stewardship of the planet to you. Good luck with that. But we're excited to have you here, and it's an important question. Are we able to survive without our phones? I don't know. All right, so moving on, I want to introduce Kurt Bretsch. So Kurt is a SoMAS lecturer and director of our world-famous Semester by the Sea program. If and when you come to SoMAS and Stony Brook, the Semester by the Sea program is one of the great things that will give you an experience that you'll never forget. Oh, I'm so sorry about the... oops. It is, well, it's now 8:40, but yeah, sorry, and thank you again. Kurt is going to read us all the rules, tell us how things are going to go today, read the Riot Act, everything about the process. So I'll turn it over to Kurt.
Let me see if I can try this without the microphone. Ruth, can you hear me in the back?
Yes.
Claire, can you hear me? Everybody else hear me? Okay, we'll try this without the microphone. So welcome, everyone. Thank you, Dean Shepson. Dean Shepson is an atmospheric scientist, and as you'll learn, they are not full of hot air. I can't compete with his fishy jokes, and that's all I got. So now we'll go right into reading the rules. But I was impressed. Thank you for representing SoMAS and all of its facets. All right, so the National Ocean Sciences Bowl, this is a nationwide high school competition. And this year, in 2020, there are 25 teams competing around our nation for a chance to go to the championships at nationals. So every region will feed a winning team into the championships. This year, they'll be held in Gulfport, Mississippi, and the winners of today's event will be sent to that championship in Mississippi. And paid for. The whole trip will be paid for. So what I want to do is get us done in about 10 minutes and up to the room so we can start right on time, right at 9 o'clock, so we can finish right on time. So I'm actually not going to read through all of the rules. I'll just highlight a few of the new rules and a few of the rules that spectators and everyone in this room should follow. Our teams are very well prepared for this competition, and I think you've all got the rules down. They will be read again. Some of the rules before each round, especially in the first round. All right, so how is today organized? Well, this morning we have a division-based round robin, and you can check your folder that you have. Every team member has a folder, and we have the schedule in there and the rooms that you'll be in your division, and you'll see who you're competing against. So please take a look at that and be prepared to go up there once we start at 9 o'clock so we can start on time. So we'll begin with a practice round. So the practice round is a chance for the teams to get the jitters out, as well as for the volunteers to get their jitters out. We know you guys have practiced hard for today's event, and we're a little bit nervous too. We want to perform well for you. So first round is a practice round. There's no score, so don't be concerned about that. You'll stay in the same room that you're in for your practice round for the first official scoring round one. And then for rounds 2 and 3 in the morning, you may move to another room. So again, take a look at that schedule, coaches especially, and see where you're going to be for the morning rounds. All right, during those early rounds, Joe will be taking photos over here. So be aware that our photographer may be in your room taking photos. Volunteers especially, please let Joe in the room to take photos. All right, then we'll have lunch. And I'll say a few more things about SoMAS programs during lunch and a few other items, business items, and we'll talk about the seating for the afternoon rounds. In the afternoon, we'll begin with a single elimination round. After that, 4 teams will be eliminated. We will have some activities for those teams especially. We have Chris Paparo here. He's going to be giving a fascinating seminar called From Plankton to Whales. It's about life in our waters here off of Long Island. He's the manager of our marine station at Southampton, so he works for SoMAS. He's also one of our resident naturalists. It's a fascinating talk. If you want to see what lives in our waters of New York State, please stay and go to that talk. We'll also have ice cream, one of the favorite activities of the day. It's a nice chance to relax and socialize a bit. Okay, so the teams that survive that single elimination round, they then enter a double elimination tournament that will eventually produce a champion, hopefully by late afternoon, sometimes by late evening, depending on how the teams do. So fingers crossed. All right. As I said, eliminated teams are encouraged to stay. Please stay. Talk to Chris. Talk to the volunteers. We're here. We want to talk to you about careers in marine science, not just SoMAS, although we'll certainly talk about that, but approach us. Ask us questions about our jobs, about the field of marine science. This is a great opportunity for you guys to really start building your network in marine science. All right. So a couple things to take note of is that this year we're doing something new. For every round, we're actually starting with the team challenge questions. Did all the teams hear that? All the coaches hear that? All the volunteers? I guess everybody in this room? We're beginning with the team challenge questions. All right, so we'll do both of those. They'll be sent to both Central and graded, and then sent back, presumably, for that break in the middle. After the team challenge questions, we have the 6-minute buzzer half. So we have toss-up and bonus questions. We then have a 2-minute break. And then we have the second half of the round. Again, toss-up and bonus questions. So the scoring, remember that the scoring can be up to 20 points for the team challenge questions. Scoring is 4 points for toss-up. They're all multiple choice questions with toss-up. And 6 points for the bonus. And those are all short answers. As I said, I'm not going to go through all of the rules in the brochure and the rules that you all know. But I do want to talk about a few rules for the building and just for gameplay today. So please be aware that no food is allowed on the second and third floors, which is where all the game rooms are. We can only have food and drink down here on this floor. We will be having lunch next door in the other lecture hall, but please no food or drink upstairs. Also, Nationals has said no smartwatches are allowed in our rooms. So if you have a smartwatch, please stow it. Put it in a bag or your pocket during gameplay. All right, so players and coaches and volunteers, please wear your name tags today. During the competition round, coaches may communicate with players only during that 2-minute mid-round break. Spectators are expected to be quiet throughout all of gameplay, of course, and no communication, no writing. In fact, you can't have any writing instruments or papers out during gameplay in the round. So please, everyone, be aware of that, spectators especially.
Blurt out the answers.
No blurting out the answers either, if you're a spectator. Yes. I'm looking at you. All right, if your team is eliminated, as we said, please stay for the whole day. Encourage the other teams, support the other teams, find out who wins, go to the talks, get some ice cream. Make sure that all phones are turned off. This is a big one, of course. Make sure all phones are turned off. And your phones should also be stowed away during gameplay. Please put them in a bag or in your pocket. Remember that you can only enter or leave the room at the beginning of a round. So not during breaks, only at the beginning of a round. Refrain from any loud comments. This is the spectators especially. Gesticulations. No communication of any kind, as I said, between the audience and the players or the coach. So keep that in mind. If you're a spectator, do not communicate with the coach either. No talking, basically, during gameplay. There's no photography allowed during gameplay, except for Joe, our photographer. And since space is limited in some of the rooms, please be aware of that and allow parents, family, and classmates of the players to have access to those seats. This may become especially important as we have more and more people cramming into smaller rooms as we progress throughout the day. Please give priority to those most closely associated with the team. If you are a spectator and you want to grab some food during the day that we're not going to have at lunch, you can go right outside the front door here over to the SAC, the Student Activity Center, and there is food that you can purchase over there, and coffee and whatnot. Okay. I think that's it in terms of the rules that I'd like to go over from the bulletin. Okay. Any questions at this point? Yes, Gordon. During the break, is what I understand. Yep. So they should all be graded and sent back to each room during that first half so that during the break they can be read back and the teams know their score, their standing going into the second half of the round. Yep.
After or during the break? I think that's the question. They get the break and then everybody gets a 2-minute break and then the questions.
Yep. Got it. Thank you, Kim. Any other questions? Yes. So with multiple choice, you must read either the letter or the exact word as given. So if it's a singular answer, it can't be plural and so on. So it has to be verbatim. Any other questions?
Articles only. You can slip in an a, an, a, the, or you can make them go away. But if you do anything else,
of other good tips out there. Okay. So let me wrap this up. All right, so prizes. What do you get if you win? Well, as I said, the first place team is sent to nationals, and that whole trip is supported. The first place team also gets a team trophy, and each team member receives $250. The second place team also gets a team trophy, and each team member receives $100. We also have a sportsman award here at the Bay Scallop Bowl. And the winners of the team that receive the Sportsman Award, they'll get admittance, they'll get a trip to the Long Island Aquarium in Riverhead. So you'll do a behind-the-scenes tour there and get into the aquarium at Riverhead, which is a fantastic aquarium, by the way. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is introduce our teams very briefly. So when I call your team's name, and I'll say the coach's first name, if you could just stand up and say hello, and we'd like to, again, welcome you here to the Bay Scallop Bowl. So all the way from Connecticut, we have Bridgeport Aquaculture with Coach Rebecca. Okay, and we've got the next two teams are both from the Rochester area. So Churchfield Chili with Coach Carl. And Hawley Community Science Team with Coach Teresa. We have Hunter College High School with coaches Noah and Caitlin. Midwood High School A with Coach Allen. And Midwood High School B with Coach Kimberly. William Floyd High School with Coach Pete. Half Hollow Hills High School East, it is good alliteration, with Coach Danielle. Huntington High School with Coach Matthew. Massapequa High School with coaches Greg and Lisa. Mount Sinai High School with coaches Andrew and Glennis. And Ward Melville High School with Coach Marnie. Okay, so those are our 12 teams, our stars of today, and we wish you the best of luck today. I just have a couple concluding comments, and that is I just wanted to thank our sponsors again. And again, give another shout out to our entire bowl planning team, all of our volunteers, and especially Caitlin Willig, our Bay Scallop Bowl Regional Coordinator, our Bay Scallop Bowl Volunteer Coordinator, and Kim Knoll, our Bay Scallop Bowl Regional Coordinator Extraordinaire. All right, and right on time. Ready to go, Kim? Dean Shepson.
I'm sorry, in my thanks, I neglected to thank and recognize our perennial volunteer photographer, Joe.
Okay, good luck, everybody.